They don't need socialists. They don't need pro-black. They don't need all of this blue. They need a Republican thinking mayor that's acting like a Democrat. Because the people are not going to accept you if you just say, hey, I'm Republican and I want to fix your city. They're going to call you a coon. They're going to say you negative. Don't even matter. Hey, guys, I want to stop crime. I want to put more police on the street. No, fuck that. We want to kill each other. That's not how it's going to play out. You got to have somebody that runs like they're a Democrat, but acts like a Republican and is willing to work for the federal government. In order to fix this, you got to act like a nigga. You got to put the medicine inside of the candy. You got to pretend like, you know what? Yeah, forget the man. Hey, man, we going to fix this shit over here, bro. We going to fix this over here, bro. You can't just be straight up with them. You can't be just straight up with them. You got to look at it like a woman, right? Every woman say they want a good man, but they always fucking niggas that ain't no good for them. So guess what you got to do? You got to be a hybrid. You got to be a dude that don't give a fuck about them, but you know that you're going to make them better as a result of it. And you got to save them from themselves. Why? Because women, when given the option to choose for themselves, more often than not, they're going to choose wrong. So what you got to do is you got to be the wrong that's right for them. You got to be the wrong that's right for them. You have to treat black people like a hoe. You got to treat them like a hoe. Flat out. I'm just keeping it 100. You got to treat the culture like a hoe. You got to be good to them, but bad for them. Because they attracted to the bad boy, but they know that it's going to be beneficial to them. You got to be Tupac in a suit. You got to be Tupac in a suit. Otherwise, they're not going to do the thing that's best for themselves. You got to be the candy that tastes good to them. Facts. I'm giving you the real. If you want to fix the culture, you got to sit here and play the game to these niggas like, oh man, yeah, man, fuck them over there. Fuck that other side. Just don't do no crime, though. Because they're going to reject you. They're going to reject you from a content creator's perspective. I give it to you from that lens, and then we're going to really deep dive into the show. Think about it. From a content creator's perspective, name me one married, no baby mamas, no criminal activity, no arrests. But then at the same time, let me tell you, you can't name any that has never scammed anybody, no Better Business Bureau complaints, no foreclosures, no none of that shit. That is actually working corporate America. But here's the caveat. In order to be able to be mildly accepted into the culture as a content creator, lead attorney ain't married. And shout out to the lead attorney. I like him. In order to be mildly accepted into the culture, because I'm the only person that you got that ain't never dribbled a basketball, that ain't never did none of this shit. I'm the only person that you got that is still successfully married, ain't got caught up in no bullshit. But guess what? The black community rejects me. No, let me revise that, because I got a lot of black people that fuck with me. Black culture rejects me because I'm openly conservative and I'm openly a Republican. But then you still got to be from the hood, or else they don't feel like you can relate. Right? Because they want to say that you're not from here. They want to try to take your street cred from you as though that means something, right? So because I have all the intangibles, I'm in the blackest city. I never left the Detroit. I was born in the inner city of Detroit. You gotta fucking have it both. Because if you ain't sold drugs to your community, you're not a real nigga. If you not from the hood, they gonna say we can't relate to you, right? So they want a nigga with a suit on. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that messed up? It's fucked up. We can't just say, oh man, Clarence parents had a really good marriage. You gotta be both. You gotta smoke weed with them, but then hold a corporate position. You gotta you gotta be able to be married and hold down a relationship, but you still gotta be able to get other hoes. Cause how you know, right? You gotta be a nigga that spend time going to get the bag, but you still gotta be a good father, and you still gotta have kids though. You got to live as a black person, you have to live in both worlds. As a white person, all you got to do is be successful. As a black person, you got to be both. You got to be them all. Ain't this crazy? I'm not saying nothing that ain't true. I'm not saying anything that ain't true. You can't just be married. You got to be married, but you also got to have either the potential to get hoes or you got to have some hoes somewhere stashed away. It just is what it is. And not only that, you're gonna have to be able to have a chick that you married to that understand that she gotta still be married to you and love you and adore you and play her role in her positions while at the same time allowing for you to have holes in a stash, nigga. It just is what it is. Nigga, you gotta be everything. You gotta be a good man and you gotta be a nigga. You gotta have money and you gotta get back to the hood. You gotta be successful, but you can't move, nigga. You got to get a little bit of dirt under your fingernails, nigga. Where's this? Where is the controversy? Where is the controversy? Yes, yes, that you 100% right. You 100% right. You're going to have to come up with some way to be able to show people how big your dick is in real life. And you know me, I love showing off my cock. You got to be Clark Kent and you got to be Superman, nigga. I'm telling you, this is why it's much more difficult for black people to make it in any industry. This is why it's more difficult for black people to make it in more industries. It's not because the system is set up against us. It's because the people that look like you are going to be the biggest critics of you, and they are requiring for you to fit both. They are requiring, it's not the system. We are the system. We are the system. You got to be a nigga that love God, but you can't be a preacher. You you not hearing me. You got to be a dude that love God, but do not spend your time on a pulpit. You got to be cool enough to walk with security, but rich enough to be able to afford security. You got to be cool enough to be able to walk around in your city with no security because I could walk around in my city and I could do what I want to do, but you got to be rich enough to be able to have security. I'm telling you what the requirements are of the culture. I'm telling you what the requirements are of the culture. We are our own worst enemies. We are our own worst enemies. You think about that shit for a second. You got to be rich enough to have security, but you got to be cool enough to be able to walk around without them. And don't get too successful. Nigga, don't become a billionaire because now you a part of them folks. You sold out, nigga. You must have gave your shit over to the Illuminati. You a part of the Illuminati if you get too rich, dog. Hold on, wait a minute. And not only that, now you got the corporations. Cause see, if you get rich enough, and you get too visible, now you got to fight on 3 fronts because now you really in the swamp. See, the hood ain't where the real fight at. The hood ain't dangerous. The hood is just a bunch of niggas that's catching a bunch of niggas slipping. Corporate America, that's where the real hood is. If you want to know where the real cutthroat is, it's in politics, it's in corporate America. But we able to endure that shit because we come from the hood. Here's the caveat. When you get successful, they coming for your neck. So they gonna want equity into your shit. They're gonna want to be able to control you. They're gonna want to be able to tell you what to do. They're gonna want to have a cut of your profits. They're gonna want to be a mafia over your shit. But while you fighting them, because you don't mind fighting them, this is what you do. You stress the fuck up fighting them while you trying to fight them and give your own people jobs and help break them through the door. Now you got a bunch of niggas that's still in the hood, aka the internet, whining and complaining about what you ain't doing for the community.